Hey guys, it's Brooke here. Hey YouTube. This is just a video about something I've been discussing with another YouTuber. I really like him. He's cool as hell, and I love his channel because he talks about cloning and he talks about the Illuminati and other things dealing with truth. This guy's name is The Voice Crying in the Wilderness. This is just a shout out. I'm doing a video discussing my cloning experiences, and I had three particular experiences that stood out the most in my dreams, and I just wanted to talk about it here. And I'll just start discussing the first experience that I had, and this is also for the video compilation that Pac Lives is putting together of people's cloning experiences. I understand that I guess he's trying to gather enough evidence to prove that the cloning center is real if he can get enough people's testimony on YouTube and other sources. So I'm here to support that because I definitely believe that there is something going on um, that's happening to people with their dreams, that they could be living out other lives and not be aware of it. So I want to just go ahead and discuss that here. The first cloning experience that I had was a dream that I had when I was very young. This was before the Donald Marshall tapes, and this was before YouTube. I grew up in 1989. That's the year that I was born. And around the time I was very young, I can't remember which age, I had a very interesting series of dreams where I was at a hockey rink. And I didn't think much of it because we used to go ice skating when I was a kid. I used to go out with my friends to birthday parties or family events at the ice skating rink. And I thought I was just having dreams about that, like, because I love to ice skate. Years ago, I don't do it anymore. I'd probably slip and bust my ass, but anyway, so I had a dream where I was in like a ice skating rink, and it was dark and it was late and nobody was there, and I just remembered being like in some type of room with somebody. The room was brown, and I remember being very, very young, and there was a man there talking to me and smiling, and I can't remember much from that at all. I'm thinking, was this just a dream where I was in an ice skating rink because I like to ice skate, but I also have multiple dreams of being at this hockey rink and just people just taking me around and showing me around. I didn't think much of it. I wasn't really thinking about cloning and stuff like that. I know when I was younger, I had experiences dealing with the dark forces and dealing with extraterrestrials. I know that that happened to me when I was a kid, but I didn't know much about cloning until I started getting into truth when I was in my teens. But this was way before YouTube, way before social media, way before the internet was very popular. I was doing research. I had to actually go to the library and read about stuff, or I actually had to. Um, we did have internet, but it was very, very slow. So I did research online. But before the internet and before computers, I was having these experiences with being visited by strange people and going places that were weird, like a hockey rink a few times, I guess a few times every few months. And so I didn't think anything of it. Then let me talk about the two most recent dreams I've had about this cloning. Um, for one, I remember being at a futuristic looking facility. It looked like something out of, I can't really describe it. It was like it was like a military base, and I saw a lot of blue lights. It was very clean. It was very clean. It wasn't dirty or anything like that. It was very clean, and it was a facility, and you go inside, and then I think you go underground. And then after going in there, I was sitting down, and I was in this huge party. It was like everyone was having a party, and everyone was running around, and it looked like something out of a futuristic type of movie. And the main color I saw was blue. It was a lot of blues, And I was sitting down and I looked up and I saw this naked woman in a chair. And I was like, who is this woman? And I stood up to look at the woman and I realized that the woman was me. And I'm like, how in the world am I looking at myself? It was exactly like me, head to toe. And I was like, this is really weird. So I went out of this room that looked like it had a small window in it. And it was around, I guess, the late afternoon, evening time. I went out of this room, and this whole facility had multiple duplicates of people that I knew personally, but they were kind of different. Like I guess they were like failed clones. But there's a bunch of people that I knew walking around as clones, and this felt very, very real to me. This experience was so real. It was like I was there. And then here's the third time that I dealt with this situation with cloning, and I have multiple stories because I also had dreams where I was hanging out with celebrities and stuff. Like I'm like, what? Like I was celebrities. I'm not even a fan of. I'm like, I'm not even into celebrities and stuff like that. But I'm thinking maybe these dreams are just some type of wishful thinking. Like maybe I want to be a celebrity and hang out with the stars and stuff. But these dreams are so weird. But here's the third experience that I had. The third experience that I had was, and this one was very scary. In a dream, I was walking around this dark neighborhood and I was looking in somebody's car and I was investigating something. And I was stopped by a police officer, and the police officer put me in handcuffs and took me somewhere. And he took me to a church, and then he led me down this hallway in this room downstairs to the underground, and there was a secret facility down there that he had to use a special clearance to get through. He put me down there, and what I saw was insanity. I heard a bunch of children screaming and crying, and they were in this room. And then across from this room, I was walking, there was this other thing, and it said cloning lab, and it was like a medical facility. And and I saw like a doctor's chair, like you know how when you go to the doctor's office, that's how it looked. Then I was led to this other room that was a large room that looked like a library. It looked like something out of a Victorian house, like a huge room that looked like it had an old school, old Victorian feel to it. And I was approached by a man who was a heavy set Caucasian man, and he turned to me and said, "You better get out of our business, stop snooping around our business, or I will make you my slave." That's what he said. And all I remember was being trapped in this room and I could never get out. He put me in this room and he kept me as a slave. And then I woke up. And that scared the hell out of me. That I was under a church. I can't tell you where the church is, I don't know. But it felt very, very real. And I saw the cloning lab under the church, and I heard screaming and crying from children, that they were locked in a room. And all I remember seeing from this door was, like, you have the glass panels on a door, but it was that type of glass you can't really see through. It was very it was blurry. You can't see both ways out of it. And that's what I saw in that room, and I just heard a bunch of children just crying. So those were my experiences, and I also had a multiple weird dreams dealing with just being in strange places with people. Like, I would be with like a celebrity that I don't care much for, hanging out with them. And how many lives do I have? Do I have clones running around? Do I have someone that looks just like me running around? I don't know, but I really do believe that there is something to this cloning center stuff, because I'm having very vivid dreams of being multiple places, as if I were there while I'm in the dream. And I'm thinking, am I just dreaming? Am I just crazy? Is it just my mind playing tricks on me, or is there something really to this? Because I've had several dreams where I was at a military base, and I'm thinking I astral projected there because I really want to know more information about extraterrestrial affairs. I've been studying this stuff for a very long time, since I was a kid, because something happened to me when I was younger. That I believe I was abducted by extraterrestrials, or I might have been in a cloning center. I really don't know, but something happened to me, so I started doing research for the past over 10 years. It's even in my artwork as well. I keep drawing pictures of being strange places. You guys can check out my artwork on my art page. It's also on my website of of my drawings, and you can see that in my drawings there is something going on with some of the memories I have that are very, very vague. I believe that my memories have been wiped or suppressed. So it's coming out in my artwork, and it's coming out in everything that I do. And the more that people come out and talk about this stuff, it gives me confidence to come out and talk about it too, because I do believe something happened to me when I was very little. I also had a few other dreams as well. I'm going to briefly go over where not only did I find myself in military bases where someone actually saw me and told me and asked me, why are you here? I think I astral projected there, and they saw my spirit, because they have psychic military. I have another video about that where I was constantly approached by somebody policing the spirit realm and preventing astral travelers from going certain places. And I traveled to certain places like air bases, and I'm not sure if it was Area 51 or not, but I was at a military base several times, and I was at an air base, and I was in underground facilities, and I was told several times, why are you here? Why are you here? And I'm like, I don't even know how did I get here? I think I just wanted to know this information so bad that I astral projected to these places. Or I could have a clone. It could be either or it could be my higher power telling me something. But I just want to put this out there so that people can just take a look into this and see what's really going on, and see that this information is accurate, because I just want to make sure that I'm not crazy, that I'm not a crazy person, and that there is something to what I've been through in my life. I'm still trying to research what happened to me when I was a child. Because as I do know, when you're born, they do take your blood. Excuse me. And then when you go to the hospital, or if you go to the doctor and they take your blood, they store that somewhere. So they could be taking regular people and cloning them just for shits and giggles. And I want to get to the bottom of this, because if they are doing things like this, I want to fight this thing, because it's not right what they're doing to people. That people are going crazy and getting sick because they have clones running around that is connected to their consciousness, and that's not right, especially without someone's consent. So guys, I hope that helped, this research. I hope that I helped out with my story. And I will post more videos about the experiences that I went through also on my channel. And I just want to give a special shout out once again to The Voice Crying in the Wilderness. Thank you for your support, and I also support your channel. And for Pac Lives, who's making a compilation video of all the people who believe that they've been to a cloning center, or believe that something has definitely happened to them that is abnormal or paranormal or extraterrestrial or spiritual, that happened to them, that they want to discuss it and talk about it openly, so we can get to the bottom of what's going on in this society, because there's a lot of evil things going on. And I'm glad that we have the truth movement, and I'm glad that the consciousness of the planet is rising, so that we can finally crush these people. Alright guys, have a great day.